Hey everyone, Sleepy Mike here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the PTR testing. Yesterday I live streamed for a few hours testing the new Infernal Hordes in the PTR, and I just wanted to go over some things that I found out. And I've also taken a list of all the different affixes in the Infernal Hordes, and I've created a chart to show you all the affixes and how their synergies combine. And at the end of this video, I'm going to provide you a recommendation on how you should run the Infernal Hordes. So please watch this video all the way through so you can get that recommendation. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first thing you'll notice is when you give some Infernal Horde keys, the keys, they've actually changed the Infernal Horde compass look. So the normal fleeting hordes, which I don't have here, is white background. The Infernal Hordes, it's just 6 waves is blue. Then the next 8 is yellow, and then 10 is orange. So that's a good quality of life thing. Also, you'll notice that on my sigils, they've added a affix so that any of the whispers that are active on the dungeon, you can tell which key has an active whisper. So that's really nice. I know that's something people have been asking for a long time. So anyway, what I wanted to review with you is the Infernal Hordes currently have, they've added quite a bit of new affixes, and when you go into the Infernal Horde, there's a random chance for a Chaos offering to be offered. What I have found so far is that the Chaos offerings are well worth it, and one time running a 10-wave Horde, I had up to 4 different Chaos offerings each time. But the thing that you should note is when you pick the Chaos offering, you can't continue to juice the Infernal Horde because it basically takes one of the boosts away, which is a current problem, I think, with the system. So, as far as Chaos offerings go, we want to look at this chart here. When I put this into to make a table out of it, you can see number 5 is missing here, and we'll go over that here in a minute. But what you can see is that there's 7 different Chaos offerings currently available in the game. The first one is the one that you want to pray for every time you click the Chaos offering. It's to unalive a bunch of goblins. So a random goblin runs out, and you're just killing goblin after goblin. They're dropping tons of ether, and that one's just amazing. You can get 500 plus ether in that run, and that's the one you want to hope for, because there is nothing else in the Infernal Hordes that can give you more than 500 ether in one round. The next one is you carry an item on your back and avoid electric barriers. We'll go over this in a minute. I've got some video footage I want to show. The next one is to destroy as many hellworms as you can. That's pretty good. And all these, they're kind of dependent on your build. So if your build's not good at darting around chasing things, or if it's more of a stationary build or a one-hit type build, you might not be able to do some of these events as well. Destroy chaos portals that power up ether fiends. Unalive ether fiends for ether, so just random ether fiends come out. That one's not as good. And there's also one that is missing on the table. It's the same thing as this one, but instead of ether fiends, it's ether lords. It's a little better, maybe about the same as this one. The next one is capture spirits for bonus ether. So there's a bunch of chaos portals that appear. You have to kill the chaos portals. When you kill those, a bunch of little spirits show up, and they're darting around. So if you have a build that can run and teleport very fast, that one is better for those type of builds. And this one is only as good as how many spirits you can touch. And then the worst one, I think, and the one that you really don't want, is defend the ether mass. When I defend the ether mass from the exploding things running toward it, if it takes literally no damage, I get somewhere between 80 to 100 ether. But you can see, getting 500 plus ether in a run it's worth it to take that chance to get the ether. So with that said, I just want to show you some video clips. And the only way that I can show you these is from my editing studio. So I'm going to bring it over to the window and then full screen it and play it so you can see. All right, so the first footage you can see here, I'm beginning the Chaos Wave, and an Aether Goblin spawn. So this is the Aether Goblin one, and you can see he's running around, he's kind of hard to catch, but then all of a sudden, once I get him, a bunch of Aether Goblins spawn, and then I'm just darting around trying to kill as many as I can. And we'll just let this footage play here so you can see what it's like, but it is crazy. You're just darting around killing as many things as you can. So if you have like what I have, the Hydrasork build, and it's just locking one to them, I'm just teleporting to a mass group of them and laying a Hydra down, destroying all of them. And I'm not really worried about the ether right now because I just want to kill as many goblins as I can, and I'll pick up the ether later. But you can see it's getting crazy. Look how much ether is on the ground. Look at all the goblins. And this lasts for over a minute. See, I still have 12 seconds left. So you can see what's going on here. So we'll just let the footage play out here, and then I'll show you the next chaos event. So that chaos event's pretty cool. I really like it. Like when you get that one, you get a huge dopamine rush. It's very awesome. All right, so I'm just running around picking up the ether. Actually, let me show you that. So you can see how much ether that I got at the end. It's pretty, and you know, you can do better or worse depending on what you're playing. The next one I wanted to show you is the next event. All right, so you can see I'm picking it up. Sorry, I've got the sound on in the background, but this one, you can see the portals. I'm using the portals here. This electric thing is coming across, and you have to use the portals to avoid it. You can't see it here, but in this one, you have to pick up an item and hold on to it. If you get hit by that electric thing, it causes you to drop the item. But while you're holding the item, as you kill things, they're dropping ether. So the longer you can kill things and hold the item, the more ether you get. And I do want to mention here too is that if you die in a chaos event, the chaos event just ends. Like you don't get to retry the chaos event. So that's another thing to keep in mind, especially if you're not quite at end game yet. You're still building your character out. But you can see how I'm doing it. I'm just trying to avoid. You see, I took a hit, so they're not always a one-shot kill, but my build does have a lot of barrier and defense. So that was that event. It's not quite as good as the Goblin one, but I think it's number 2. The number 3 event I'm about to show you is here. So this is the Hellworms. Basically, you can see the little dots on the radar. Those are the Hellworms. Those are what you need to target. You need to kill all the Hellworms before more will spawn. Sometimes it'll spawn distraction things like portals and little minions that come out. You want to ignore those and just go straight for the Hellworms. During the PTR, we weren't able to do like party content, but I think that this would be a fun one to do party content. So anyway, we'll just let the footage play out here. But yeah, this is a cool event as well. I thought it's a lot of fun. You can see here too, I have like an upgrade at shooting these little ice lasers out. When you kill certain purple chaos monsters, they'll give you an upgrade. I've seen this one, and then there's 2 other upgrades where you have spinny things around you. This character's at end game, so I don't really notice the upgrade helping me too much. But, you know, it's just something to keep in mind that Blizzard added that I think is pretty cool. You get little upgrades. The next event that we'll show you here. Okay, I'm about ready to start the event. Here we go. Going in. And this one is you just want to kill Aether Fiends for bonus Ether. So these portals spawn in. You want to kill the portals, but every time you see one of these fires, you can kill an Aether Fiend and he'll drop some Ether. It's kind of random, I think, of how much Aether Fiends spawn in, but you're kind of limited to 200 or less. So this one's not as good as the previous ones that I've shown you. But again, we'll just let the footage play out so you can see how this event normally goes. You can see that there was some more boss monsters that aren't dropping any ether as distractions, but you really just want to target the ether fiends because that's what's giving you your reward in this one. So you can see here, and I've got the upgrade again on this one as well. So you get this upgrade quite often, really, in the Infernal Hordes, which is pretty cool. So there you go. Also on this one, you can see that the boss, it takes 666 ether to summon Bartuk. That's something to keep in mind. All right, the next ether event that I want to show is this one. So this is the same thing basically, except that it's spawning a bunch of ether lords. So that's what we're seeing here. Bunch of ether lords have spawned, and you have to kill the ether lords to get your ether. Because I have an in-game build, the ether lords health is nothing. Maybe with some weaker builds, like the ether fiends is way better than the ether lords, I'm not sure. But you can see how it's going here. It's going pretty well, actually. There's quite a bit of ether on the ground. So we'll just let the footage play out here, and then we'll get to the last two events. I think it's two more from this one. But yeah, I'm just running around killing ether lords. That's how this normally goes. Okay. That's how that goes. You can see on this run I have quite a bit of ether. The most ether I've ever gotten so far in a run is about 1,600 ether, which is quite a lot, considering it takes 666 ether to summon Bartuk. Okay. Now to the next one. Let me just make sure the audio is down on this one really quick. All right. Let's do it. All right, and we're going into the final type of chaos offering. And actually, no, this is the second to last. So this is the one where you have to capture the spirits. At first, I was confused on what you have to do, but you can see there, I just touched the spirit, and then he drops ether on the ground. So when you kill the chaos portal, it spawns more of those spirits, and you got to run around touching those spirits. And you can see they're running all over the place. I'm having trouble keeping up with them because my build's not built for speed like this. But if your build is fast, this one could be a good one. And also, if you get lucky and these spirits cluster together so you can run over like 4 of them at once, I've had that happen a few times. It really helps. So see, I just killed a portal and it spawned a bunch of spirits. This one I don't think is as fun because you're just running around. My build's strong enough that the fire in the middle is not really doing anything to me, so I'm not worried about the stuff on the ground. I'm just kind of trying to find spirits to pick up. So that's that one. And now on to our final clip. Okay, so this is the event that you don't want. It's one of the least fun and the least rewarding. So here we go. I'm going into the Chaos Wave, and it's protecting the ether mass from the exploding minions. And so you're trying to keep the ether mass from taking damage. And you can see I'm starting with 25 ether. So we'll see at the end of this run how much ether I have. I pretty much keep the mass from getting hardly any damage. It gets a little bit of damage, but I think it's hard, and you'll see later too, like, that a ton of those explodey things are going to jump in, and since I have the Hydrosork build, I can't really control what they're targeting, so it makes this one a little more difficult, but really that mass doesn't take much damage when I'm protecting it. So we'll see here what I get. So we'll just let the timer run out here, and you'll see how it goes. And that's it. So you can see I got close to 80, and that's not a very good one to get. So anyway, those are the Chaos Wave events. Now I want to go over the most important thing I think that you can learn from this video is this segment right here. And what I've done is I've written down every single affix that I've seen, and then kind of put them into little tables. So like if you want to juice the etheric masses, this is the table that you want to look at. You want to juice ether fiends, look at this table. If you want to juice ether lords, it's this one. This table is Hellborn, and this table is Soulspire. And then this one over here is miscellaneous, so it doesn't really juice anything, but they could be good. So I just want to go over these tables real quick and their synergies. So you can see I have, oops, sorry guys, getting crazy here. So you can see here that I have arrows connecting the tables. So Blizzard has added some offerings that can basically connect etheric masses to ether fiends, or etheric masses to Hellborn, or etheric masses to soul spires, or ether fiends to ether lords. So it's possible to connect all three if you get these three, if you get two offerings that allow you to connect all three. But in my opinion, you kind of want to stick with one and juice it as much as you can, and only do a connection if that's the option that you have, and it'll give you more options. And also I would recommend sticking with Hellborn or Aether Fiends, and if you get Aether Fiends, either connect it to Ether Masses or Ether Lords. Ether Lords I think is probably a little better, but those are the main ones. And they did try to juice Soul Spires, but I still think that Soul Spires are not the recommended route. They're the worst route. So anyway, you can see here, these are so I'm just going to show these tables so you have them in the video, and you can pause it and take a look at these different aspects. So you can see this is the table for juicing Ether Masses. And you can see Ether Masses have the most connections. So they have the Teeming Masses, which connects it to Ether Fiends, Hellish Masses, which allows, if you kill an Ether Mass, to spawn a Hellborn, and Anchored Masses, which connect Ether Masses to Soul Spires. Okay, then we'll look at Ether Fiends. They have Colossal Fiends, which is a really good buff. Ether Fiends spawn as Ether Lords and drop 3 times the Ether. So I'm almost debating whether this route is the best if you get Colossal Fiends and juicing Ether Fiends and Ether Lords. But you can see here, this is what you get for Ether Fiends, and you can also connect Ether Fiends to Ether Masses. Then over here you can see the Ether Lord aspects that I've seen, and you can see those there. Just pause the video if you want to read more. Here is the Hellborn, and you can see there's quite a bit of choice there, but it does take a while. And again, with the Chaos offerings, it's hard to juice all these mechanics. And then down here is the Soul Spires. And the soul spires, the best one is, I believe, the transitive one if you're trying to juice soul spires, but I wouldn't recommend juicing soul spires. It takes the longest to complete a soul spire still, and it's just not worth it in my opinion. And then over here is the table of chaos waves. And I've got a short graphic to show. So this is kind of all of them combined, everything that you can see here. And my recommendations are as follows. So if you see a chaos wave, always perform it. The chaos waves will give you on the top 4, 200 plus. If you get the goblin one, that's amazing. It's just not worth it not to try to get the goblin event. My next recommendation, which I've mentioned, is either stick with Hellborn or Aether Fiends and Aether Lords. The Soul Spire is still not juiced enough to be a viable option. If you choose Aether Fiends, you want to pray for the Colossal Fiend offering, because that allows you to connect to Aether Lords, which juice it quite a bit. And also, one thing I did forget to mention is that there are some miscellaneous aspects here. The Stalking Devil, which gives you plus 75 ether. I found this one every time it comes up. It's worth it right now with the Chaos Waves, because you're not able to juice the event, so it's better to run Chaos Devil so that you get plus 75 and then whatever else. There was another one that they added called Ether Goblins, and it was like a unique offering, and it spawns Ether Goblins as events. But when I killed the Ether Goblin, it wasn't really doing anything or dropping any ether, so I'm not really sure if this one is working. Okay. So I would also recommend always picking the Stalking Devil for now until we figure out more what the Ether Goblin does. I would avoid picking it because I'm not sure that it works. So anyway, that's all I had for this video today. If you guys like this guide, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I've got 4 subscribers so far, and I'm trying to get to 10 as my milestone right now, and you could be someone to help me get there. I'm really trying to get there. Please get me to 10 subscribers. I live stream pretty regularly, and I'm creating guides like this to help you become better at playing Diablo and understand the mechanics of the game. And the other disclaimer I want to put into this video is that this video is based on the Season 10 PTR, and as you know, when the season comes out, Blizzard may make some changes. So this video might not always, everything in this video might not always be true when the season goes live. But if there are changes, I will make a updated video explaining the new changes. So again, if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see everyone later. Bye.